Well, happy Friday. Of course, the beginning of this month started out pretty chilly. It was just a couple weeks ago that we had those sub-zero readings, but thanks to that warm middle of the month, we actually saw our average temperature for the month of March climb above normal. But will it stay there? Yeah, these last 7 to 10 days are going to be pretty chilly. So right now we're running almost a degree above the average. But of course, that warm weather has had an impact on ice on Lake Superior. Our other lakes as well too, but the ice in Lake Superior much more dynamic. It reached a high of 80% just over a week ago, now down to 30%. So obviously wind and temperatures play a role in ice cover in Lake Superior, but you can really see the difference on satellite imagery. This is March 15th. You can see the western part of the lake mostly encased in ice, and then just yesterday, much more open across the big lake. But again, still about 30% of the ice on that lake, or 30% coverage on Lake Superior. We have this clipper system that's not doing a whole lot for moisture, some snow showers and some light accumulations to the north, but a big pressure gradient. These yellow lines, when they're bunched together, those are the lines of pressure. When you see that, you got a lot of wind. So a strong pressure gradient in the wake of this system. Again, some snow showers, most likely accumulations in the northern half of the state today. Might see a brief coating on the grass here in the Twin Cities, but for the most part, we're going to see things confined to the north and pretty spotty too. Maybe a little bit better chance as you get into the boundary waters or along the international border of some 2-inch amounts perhaps, but for the most part, the biggest thing with this system is going to be the wind and what it brings with that wind, which is some cold. We've got some cold, high pressure settling in for the weekend. We're talking about temperatures that'll be 20 to 25 degrees below normal for northern Minnesota and 10 to 20 degrees below normal here in the southern part of the state too. We have a high wind advisory for much of the state in brown, and that includes most of Iowa. Red flag warnings further to the west where dry conditions could create a fire danger as well, thanks to that wind. So these are potential wind gusts today, over 50 miles an hour in southwestern Minnesota, but even in the Twin Cities, I think we could see a 50-mile-an-hour gust. Regardless, a windy day, sustained speeds even, will be 20 to 30 miles an hour out of the northwest, which you know what that brings. And this is showing temperature anomalies midday tomorrow. In purple, that's 20 to 25 degrees below normal and 10 to 20 degrees below normal here in the southern part of the state. So statewide, a very chilly weekend and low temperatures are going to be more reminiscent of winter again. Single digits across northern Minnesota tomorrow morning, teens here in the southern part of the state, but we're going to have that wind still, not as high as today, but still pretty breezy. So wind chills early tomorrow morning if you're out and about. The northern half of the state below zero. Single-digit wind chills in the southern part of the state, and that breeze stays a little high through the day on Saturday. Should lighten up finally Sunday, but that's also going to lead to some colder temperatures early Sunday morning. Highs only in the low to mid 30s here in the southern part of the state, 20s and even teens into far northern Minnesota. More like late February than the later part of March. And then early Sunday, our coldest temperatures with this latest cold snap, northern Minnesota, some sub-zero readings, teens here further south, but regardless, pretty chilly. And this pattern is a chilly one here for the next several days because we've got two pretty persistent ridges and then a couple storm systems eating into those ridges that move across the central part of the country. So what those ridges of warmth do on the coast is push warmer air in the middle of the atmosphere north, and then we've got another ridge, prominent ridge in the Atlantic pushing into Greenland that kind of funnels the cold out of Canada. And again, each one of these storm systems that comes by really helps to reinforce or suck down more of that cold. You can see that this is looking at the actual temperatures moving down from the literally the North Pole through Canada and into the central and eastern US. And that pattern should break down a little bit through the week next week, but for the time being, at least through the middle of next week, it's going to stay pretty chilly. Well below normal, especially this weekend. And then we're talking about another storm system next week. Here's Tuesday into Wednesday. Looks like a very similar setup to last week. Mainly rain here in the south with ice and snow again possible in the north, but any shift in that track will change. So we're going to see moisture surge northward. This is precipitable water or moisture in the whole atmospheric column lifting northward. We're going to see probably more severe weather as well in the south come next week. As far as snowfall goes, it's all over the board at this point, so anybody has a chance of some snow here, but here's the several different model scenarios. American model, the most aggressive for most of Minnesota, and the ensemble models, or the models running different scenarios of themselves, a little more realistic looking probably. But as I mentioned, Wednesday, look for probably a severe weather outbreak into some of the same areas that got hit again this week into the south. So all sorts of things to watch with yet another classic spring storm coming in. So temperatures will continue to drop through the day today, steady to falling as those cold northwest winds blow. And we'll see a few snow showers in the Twin Cities, but northern Minnesota, again, more numerous snow showers. And then look at those weekend temperatures. Yeah, this is normal for the beginning of March, not late March. Low to mid 30s, morning lows in the teens. Back towards normal, or closer at least, next week. Mid to upper 40s is where we'll be near that, and that's why it'll be warm enough where Tuesday, Wednesday, we're looking at probably rain and snow here in the southern part of the state. And again, a chance of some ice and snow once again for northern Minnesota. Of course, we'll continue to watch that through the weekend.